Okay, let's dive into a really fascinating and honestly an often overlooked question about the future. It's one that reveals a profound truth about the one thing a perfect world can't fix, and that's the human heart. So here's the question, and I want you to really think about this for a second. Once you do, it completely changes how you might picture that future era, the Millennial Kingdom, that thousand-year period of peace on Earth with Christ ruling directly. And get this, the surprising truth is that children will still be born. And to be crystal clear, we are not talking in symbols here. No, the source material is talking about real, physical families, entire generations growing up in a world where Jesus Christ himself is the visible reigning king. I mean, can you imagine? So let's just pause for a second and try to picture that. What would it actually be like to be born and raised in that world? First off, just imagine no corrupt governments. Zero. No political chaos, no self-serving leaders, none of the systemic injustice we're so used to today. Gone. Next up, there's no spiritual confusion. Truth isn't something you have to debate or search for, it's just there. It's clear, it's present, and it's taught by the king himself. And beyond that, there's no hidden manipulation. During this thousand-year period, Satan himself is described as being bound, which means he's completely unable to influence or deceive the nations. And finally, justice isn't something you wait for, it's immediate. It's a world where righteousness is literally the law of the land, and it's enforced perfectly. It is, for all intents and purposes, a perfect environment. So, this brings us to the real question, doesn't it? If the world's outside is finally right, what kind of people will those kids become? What's going to happen on the inside? And this right here, this is the incredible contrast at the very heart of this whole era. See, even in a totally restored world, kids will still be born with the same human nature we have. So you've got this perfect environment, perfect justice, a perfect king. But on the flip side, you've still got the human heart. And it still has the same fundamental choice to make. And the choice they face is fundamentally different from ours. It reveals this really critical distinction between simply seeing something and actually surrendering to it. Think about it. These generations won't need faith in the same way we do. They won't believe in a king they can't see. They will physically see him ruling from Jerusalem. His authority isn't just a concept, it's a visible reality. His law will be perfectly clear. So here's the crucial point. This single line from the source material changes everything. Seeing is not the same as surrendering. Just because they can observe his power doesn't mean they're going to submit their hearts to it. Every single person will still have to make a personal decision. Not forced, not inherited, but a real choice of allegiance. But this all leads to a truly shocking climax. I mean, after 1,000 years of unprecedented peace and perfect leadership, something absolutely unthinkable happens. So at the end of this whole era, the source material says Satan is released from his prison for just a short time. And this sets up one final dramatic test for humanity. And what happens next is, well, it's staggering. A huge number of people from all over the world choose to follow him in one last rebellion. And this is the great puzzle, right? Why? I mean, these aren't people who grew up in darkness or suffered under corrupt leaders. They lived in a near-perfect world. So why on earth would they ever choose to rebel? The answer to that why is the entire point. It reveals the ultimate lesson of this thousand-year reign. It gets right to the very heart of the matter. This is the core truth. That final rebellion proves that the problem was never just our environment, not corrupt governments or societal ills. The root problem has always been the unsurrendered heart within us. So, in the end, those generations become part of history's greatest and final demonstration. They prove that true righteousness, true goodness, doesn't come from having perfect external conditions. It can only come from a willing heart, one that chooses freely to align itself with the king. And all of this leaves us with one final, really provocative question to think about. If a perfect world, ruled by a perfect king, isn't enough to change the human heart, then what is? And honestly, the answer to that question is what makes everything else matter.